Our Facebook 4 panel, our friends of our fan page who kind of weighing in on several issues. Let me ask you real quickly about Wall Street. Recently, the Justice Department settled with JP Morgan, billion-dollar settlement. This is tied, of course, to the investigation into a lot of the things that happened leading to the subprime mortgage scandal. Margaret, do you feel that Wall Street has either been unfairly targeted or have they been punished or paid a price for a lot of the things that were precipitous for the crisis? What do you think?
Oh, David, it's funny that you asked me that question because my whole family are bankers, including my husband and my daughter and my brothers, and my father was as well. So I've always sat through these kind of conversations. And so my husband at one time worked for JP Morgan. And so we've had this conversation with this whole news story going on. And I wish I could tell you exactly what we talked about off the top of my head, because sometimes I don't listen.
Right, yeah, you tune out, yeah.
But
well, in general, what did they
unfairly, sometimes, I think unfairly, from what I understand and what I can remember from these conversations with my husband about JP Morgan, is that the amount of business that they do, this was a smaller percentage of the amount of all the business that they do. So I hope I'm saying that correctly. But he would probably be the person to talk to about that.
Jesse, what about the bigger perception of Wall Street in your circles and leading to the crisis, some of the decisions?
Someone had to have seen this coming. On either the banking side or the government side. Someone had to see this coming. I mean, the way it hit, someone had to see it coming. And for that, with the government bailing them out, they're accountable to the people somewhat, and if there were any shenanigans going on, in a normal world, people go to jail for that.
Okay. John, I think that's an interesting point. People saying, were anybody paying the price for those decisions when all that money was being made and leading to that?
It doesn't look like too many people have. I mean, I think there's plenty of guilt to go around, and it probably traces back a lot to deregulation and lack of oversight that created like a kind of Wild West atmosphere in the markets, made the racetrack look like kind of a rational place to invest your money.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about health. Olivia, Mayor Bloomberg signed some legislation recently that brought forth by the City Council to raise the age that young people can buy cigarettes in New York City to 21. And of course, we know the Bloomberg administration has tried to limit the size of sugary drinks that you can get. What do you think of that? Do you think the government should kind of play more of a role in that? Do you think it'll be effective, first of all, with young people? I know you don't smoke, right?
I don't, I don't, so it doesn't really affect me.
Right, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think if it's a way to make people healthier, then why not? And if it's a way to stop smoking in children, I mean, of course, if you really want to do it, they'll find ways. Just like kids still drink even though the age is 21, but it still cuts down on it, and it does help. So I'm okay with it.
And Margaret, I know health is a big thing with you. This is what you've written your book about. Is it government overreach to some of the things, some of the initiatives, or no?
Health is a big thing for me. And, the way we care for our body really dictates what our life is going to be like. Should the government take part in it? If they can raise awareness, I think that's great. I teach in a course in many corporations, Stop Smoking Without Weight Gain. So I work very intimately with people who smoked for the large majority of their lives. And I think their stories, not so much the pictures, because the pictures that we see on television, because people don't relate to that as much, but their stories of how that smoking has affected every aspect of their life is amazing to me. And I think the young people need to hear that as well.
But John, you're a Manhattan resident. Mayor Bloomberg sometimes criticized for all the things he's trying to do health-wise. What are your thoughts?
I didn't like the soft drink ban because I thought it was not going to work. But I like the cigarette law. I mean, this is when people get hooked on cigarettes. There's no upside to it. And I think maybe another topic will be the vaping, the vapor cigarettes now that people moving to a topic for another day.
People looking at that. All right, good. We're going to take a break here, and then we're going to come back. I'm going to ask each one what they're concerned about, what's on their mind as they look ahead into the future. It's a pondering thought here. We're going to you have a commercial break to think about it. Stay with us. All right, that's our social media. You can see we're present there, and Olivia Vezas, our intern, who's on our panel today, usually manages all that, so I'm distracting her from that. But anyway, stay in touch with us, and this is how we ended up with our panel, our fans here. Going to take this final break to give you a chance to sound off. You know, very rarely do the actual viewer get a chance to just say what they're thinking and have access to the media, so you've got it. I'm sure the language will be clean. Yeah. But Jesse, what's on your mind? What concerns you now? You've got a grandchild, you live in Elizabeth, New Jersey, you're 56-year-old. What do you think about most when you're just kind of pondering things?
Well, what I like to ponder is employment for people, 50 years or older. They're putting us out to pastures, taking the older worker longer to find employment. And I'm just concerned that businesses are sacrificing experience for paying people less money. Mm-hmm. Experience is it's a good thing.
And you're feeling that. You're feeling that. You and your friends. Okay. Margaret, an author, health obviously very important to you. What's on your mind? What do you ponder about? What do you think about? What concerns you?
I do think about health an awful lot. That's what I've been doing for the last almost 30 years, is helping people bring health into their lives. Mm-hmm. And the older I get, I'm 57 now, the older I get, the more I realize how important as you age health is to you, because if you don't have your health, there's, life suffers, and I think your health is invisible until you no longer have it. So I say embrace the invisible.
We didn't spend a lot of time talking about the healthcare debate. I feel like
sure.
I don't know if that has been coming up in your circles as well.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes it breaks down along partisan lines, but then sometimes it doesn't. There's just general frustration or concern. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of frustration on that. And I don't think, at least the conversations that I've had with people, I don't think people are so in tune to what is really going on with that.
They don't still understand it. Okay.
Right.
John, your thoughts? I know you've got that 8th grader there.
Yeah, I'd say that's the hot button issue. A daughter in 8th grade looking for public high school in New York. So it's quite a maze to navigate. My wife just started a new career in real estate, so we're looking to see how that goes. And David, I'm in communications, and that business changes about every 9 minutes. So trying to keep up and stay current with everything in that business.
Yeah, and how do you do it? How do you stay?
Well, I'm online a lot.
Right.
That's how I found my way to here, really. And I use social media an awful lot, but a lot of events to go to, too.
Right,
and New York is great for that.
Yeah, okay. Olivia, your perspective's different. The world is your oyster. Is that the saying? I don't even know. Don't quote me on that. 21 years old. What are your thoughts when you're not being preoccupied with all the debrief social media that you have to take care of?
Well, I guess I'm a senior now, so I'm going to graduate. So I'm thinking, should I start looking for a job, or should I go into grad school? Just thinking about my education. But education is very important, so I'm very lucky. And I think just thinking about in other countries, people don't have as many opportunities as we do. I mean, here you could be even older and still go back and get your education and get a degree in something. So I think that's very important. So that's on my mind right now, what I should be doing in the future.
I forgot, Olivia, you speak a few different languages.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What languages do you?
Fluently, I speak Greek, Albanian, and English, and I'm learning Italian and Korean in school.
Wow, exactly. That's interesting. All right. Well, Olivia is one of our hardworking interns. I'm curious, and we only have a minute left, do you think people appreciate the opportunity, young people now? Sometimes we think because of the instant gratification with the communication, they want to find success, or reality shows, find success almost immediately, and without the kind of the hard work that we have done. Do you see that or hear about that in your circles at all?
Can I just speak from my own experience with my 2 children?
Yeah.
I don't see that. I see them as very hardworking. I hear that from a lot of people, but when I look at my son and my daughter and I see what they've accomplished, my son is 28, my daughter is 30, and I look at how hard they've worked going through school and in their careers and what they've accomplished and what they've put into it, I'm in awe of them.
Wow. All right. Well, Margaret, thank you so much. John, thank you. Jesse, thank you. And, of course, Olivia, thank you. She is one of the hardworking of that generation.
That's right.
I'm not just saying that. We appreciate that. We try to do it from time to time. In the meantime, like us on Facebook. Join us on Instagram. Join us on Twitter. I'm tweeting, which is a whole other story right there. We'll see you next time on The Debrief.
Have a story for News 4 New York's I-Team? Call the tip line at 866-NEWS-244 or email us at news4iteam@nbcnewyork.com.